Welcome, everyone. We have another special edition of the Coin Rivet podcast. It's episode number 15. We have as I said, a very special guest, the reigning World Series of Poker main event champion. It is Espen Uhlen Jorstad. Am I right? Are we good with that?
Close enough. Espen Uhlen Jorstad. Yeah.
Beautiful. It sounds better when you say it. So, hailing from Norway, maybe tell me where specifically in Norway, and then we're going to dive into all the good stuff and find out how you won $10 million in the main event title. So, tell me where you're from and
yeah. Spoiler: I got lucky many times. I'm from Steinkjer. It's like a small city, 20K people in the middle of Norway. It's a lot of beautiful nature and whatever, but not much else going on there.
And tell me about poker there. Is this something when you go back home, are you going to be swarmed? Is this like, this has to be news, right? In anywhere in the world, let alone a smaller town. Is this, what do you think will be the reception when you get back there? And do you think you'll get recognized all over Norway?
I've yet to find out, I guess. I'm not sure. Like, it seems like it's been all over the Norwegian media and whatever. But, gambling is a bit of a touchy subject in Norway. Poker is somewhat illegal in Norway. You can play online, but you cannot play live poker unless it's for like less than $100 and less than 20 people or less than 10 people or something. Like, there are some weird rules there. Yeah. If you want to host bigger tournaments than that, you have to apply, and it's basically only the Norwegian championships that are allowed to do that. Outside, there is not really. Everything else is underground in Norway, like underground poker clubs and stuff like that. So.
Very cool. Tell me about your entrance into poker. So how did you actually find this? If it's not so popular, maybe in Norway, or you said there's all these restrictions, and how were you able to dive into poker? Who got you into it?
I think first, like, there was a friend. I used to play a lot of Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne, like a very old school RTS game. Okay. And I was playing in like a clan. We were playing a lot. We were tryharding Warcraft 3. And one of my clan members, he got into poker, and he was like super into it. He was going really hard. So he introduced me and sent me like $50 on Stars, I think. Okay. And I also got super into it, bought all the books, watched everything there was, signed up to the training sites back then. I did everything I could to try to beat that game. I think that was in 2004. Okay. And then I started playing like, which ages me a lot just by saying that. And then I was playing a bunch of home games. It was pretty popular in my hometown, even though it's like a small place. There was a lot of home games and stuff like that. We would play for like $100, 200. No, like $10, $10, $20, stuff like that. When we were like 16 to 18. And then from there, just kept playing.
Does this ring a bell? I mean, looking at this 10th place finish for $238 US at $80 in Dublin, do you remember that, your first ever Henry Mob cash, and were you following along
painful. 10th place. Wow, that sounds
10 million. 10th place, 10 million. I'd rather go with the 10 mil. But do these memories stand out for you? Like, do you remember the live poker kind of grind and traveling around at this time?
I don't remember these tournaments specifically. And I don't think this is the. Let me see.
You might add some cashes before some other smaller like side tournaments.
Yeah, I think so. And also, I think my Handen mob. I think I have two Handen mobs. I think it's like split into two because one uses my middle name and one doesn't. So I had like a weird thing with two Handen mobs. But yeah, I remember a lot of these tournaments, but not like the very first ones.
And I just want to fast forward into that because it is interesting. You did final table technically the main event just before, right? During this COVID period, you were playing and you hit a score at the World Series final table. What was this like? Because this is actually, I didn't actually realize that till today, but you did final table that. And that was, I mean, that's a massive score. How big a boost to your kind of bankroll and your tournament interest in tournaments was this for you here?
I think, I remember when I won this, it was for 600K and my net worth at the moment was like $1 million. So it wasn't life-changing, but it was like definitely a big score. That was last year, and no, it was like 2.5 million up top. So it was like the biggest spot of my career by quite a stretch. Like my biggest score before this one was like 200K.
Okay.
So definitely, surpassed that by quite a bit.
And what was that like when you're at that final table? And how would you say it differentiates from live and online? What was the biggest difference you could deduct from the two and the experience playing for huge money in both though?
I guess the biggest difference is like the online one was not a 10-day event, you know, not 10 days where you play infinite hours every day. It was maybe like a 4 or 5 day event or something like that. And before the final table, you had a break for, I want to say 5 days or something like that. So
Okay.
during those 5 days, I just really went into the lab, if you want, and I did everything I could to prepare for that final table. I was just grinding ICM sims every day. I had like some mental game coaching sessions. I was like eating super healthy, exercising, just doing everything I could to be like
Right.
as tactically and mentally prepared as possible for this final table. While for this final table, the live one, it was very different because we had 1 day in between playing the final table. I guess when we were down to 10, we broke it off.
Right.
Because then we had been playing for, I think it was 16 or 17 hours or something. It was like 6 a.m. in the morning. We had been playing forever. The plan was to play down to 9. And we didn't reach it. And at the end, they just had to cut it when we were 10 because we had been playing for so long, you know. And then we had like 1 day off where basically all I had time to do was like study, or what I decided to do was to study final table or final 2 table footage basically, and final 3 table footage. Study the footage from the previous days, just like to see what these guys were up to, mostly together with some friends, and we were like taking notes and preparing strategic game plans versus these opponents. Like it was me and Pads and Beruzzi and some other guys.
I got to ask about pads. So Patrick Leonard, I mean, one of the more interesting guys in poker. He does, almost streams from basically like streaming on Twitch, but from his Instagram stories. I don't even know how it's possible, right? He'll play like 20 tables and break down stuff. And the guy's a legend. Multiple, been on the podcast multiple times. I got a lot of love for the guy. I respect him a lot. How have you become? You guys were tag team partners. You won a bracelet already this summer in the tag team event with Patrick. Give me a little bit about Patrick and your guys' relationship.
It's funny, like the first time I actually like really met him was at this WSOP. We met like at the beginning of the series. He asked me out for lunch, and I was so I joined him for lunch, and then we just kept in touch over the summer basically. And it was pretty random. Like I wasn't even planning to play the tag team. I was just at home, and I was just planning to go to bed early basically. And he sent me a message like late that night, "Are you playing the tag team?" And I was like, "No, I'm just at home chilling." And he was like, "Do you want to hop in like late reg?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." I didn't have any like, so I went over there, and we like late regged it quite late in day one. And then we were like memeing about making plans for like who's gonna play tomorrow when we make day 2, who's gonna play like this and then. And he was like, "We're probably gonna be out in 30 minutes. Let's not plan too much and let's just go." And yeah, then we spun it, obviously.
And how, give me, you spoke before a bit. You said like kind of the shock of winning the main event. It almost didn't hit you. It just kind of feels like another tournament. You take it down, let it all sink in. But how was it to win your first bracelet versus your second one? Not even a month later or whatever. Like how did the two compare? And obviously the money is pretty significantly different, but how did it feel?
Yeah, the first one was a lot of fun, of course. It's like a fun event, you tag in and out and you discuss in between hands and whatnot. So the first one was like not that much pressure. There was some pressure in terms of I didn't want to fuck up and bust. Can I swear?
Yeah.
And bust and bust Patrick. I didn't want to be that guy who like makes some big mistake with 3 tables left and bust my friend Patrick. That would be like pretty brutal.
Right.
So there was some pressure in terms of that, but like the money was not super significant, right? So it wasn't as much pressure in that sense. It was more like a fun tournament. We just had a lot of fun, and yeah, winning. When I won that tournament, it actually hit me straight away. This is like very cool, and I enjoyed the experience and the moment and everything. Like I was there, I was present. While winning the main event, there was so much. I was so in the zone, just like focusing on the poker. I had like consciously blocked out everything in terms of like the money at stake, the world champion title or whatever. Like everything that was like very significant in that tournament, I tried to block out because I didn't want it to affect my decisions or anything like that. So after I won, it was very hard. I couldn't just like flip that switch and be like, okay, let's enjoy the moment. I was kind of just like, okay, it's over now. I can breathe, but like, yeah, it still hasn't really sunk in. I walk around now and I feel just like my old self. It's not like I feel any different, or yeah, I realize I have a bit more money now. But yeah, it still hasn't really, yeah. Not that I'm planning to change either, and I'm gonna start acting like the world champion or whatever. Like that's not on my agenda. But yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
we'll
trying to.
sink in soon.
I'm trying to find this tweet from Patrick. So he obviously, I mean, you guys are close. You won the bracelet event, bracelet tag team together. You were speaking about, you mentioned very transparently that you had swaps between 1% and 7.5%, I believe, something like that. You said you had 50. I think you said you had 56%. I mean, I saw it on social media from you, I believe that's correct. So how's that feeling to win money for your friends? I'm trying to find about the tip. Patrick Leonard was doing some tweet. I'll find it in a second. But tell me first off, how is that to have like people that are, you just like literally 1%'s worth 100 grand. So people that how does that feel to win money for your group, your core friends? And over Bet Express, I think Henry Kilbane also. I want to ask you about him, but tell me how that feels to put the team on your back and get it done.
That feels really good. I had some people asking me like, how does it feel having to give away all that money, like making it sound like a bad thing, But for me, it's like a super good thing. Like I get to give my friends a lot of money. For some of these people, it's life-changing money, right? The people that are the biggest pieces. Some of these guys didn't have like $1 million bankrolls, and getting to give them like 500K or 700K or what it is,
Crazy.
yeah, that feels really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, that's such a great conversation, right? Like, and getting their wire info and figuring it out, because it's just so crazy. Actually, 1% or 5%, right, in equity. You're talking about like, what is $500 or something? Someone just won 500 grand. It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane. And yeah. So that's amazing. Let me ask you about this though. What is that? This is interesting, right? I've heard different things, but this is where he's talking about this because there is money taken for the dealers, for the staff and all that. And when you think about tipping, right, we talk about also, man, I gotta say how much I enjoy Patrick and his tweets as I'm talking about like coffee in the UK, it's like £3 in the US. It's like $9 plus VAT, plus this, plus this service tax, it's like $14. So how does that mentally to tip when you're like, oh, I'm going to tip some percentage or whatever to tip like that? How do you kind of go about that and process that in your own head? Because it's not normal, right? We're not normally like tipping 106 figures to people. So how do you do that, and how do you think about that?
Yeah. When I've been playing tournaments in Europe and at casinos where there is not automatically tips taken out for the staff, I like to tip. I think it's very good. Like the dealers, we appreciate what they do, of course, and I think a lot of them do like an amazing job. They work hard and they should be paid. For this one, I haven't really thought about it too much yet until I saw Patrick's tweet, because I'm still having to sort out like some ITIN number to get paid from the WSOP. So I'm waiting for the IRS it's like a tax situation because they have a tax treaty with the UK. So I'm waiting for that to get sorted to get paid, and that might take like a month or two. So I'll have some more time to think about it. We were talking about what to do in this spot. I was reading that Twitter thread, and most people was like okay, I'm not going to try to use fancy words. Unequivocally? What is that a word? Like most people were saying just like they would not tip anything because there's automatically taken out like 3% for like auto tip or whatever. Right. But at the same time, it's like you do want to show your love and support or whatever for the dealers that are doing a really good job, right? So I've heard like different suggestions, like in terms of making a Twitter poll where people tag their favorite dealers, and then you just like tip a reasonable amount. Like let's say you tip 1K to the 15 best dealers or whatever. But that seems also very weird because then people are left out, and like
some dealers might not have social media or whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a weird one, right?
It's tricky.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you tip like, let's say that you tip like 10 or 20K or something, which would be a reasonable tip, right? That equals out to every dealer getting like $23 or something. So it's like super meaningless and absurd in that sense as well, right? So I don't really know what to do about it yet. I have to think more about that one. Luckily, I have a couple of months to think about it.
Yeah, it's good problem, or good thing to think about. Not too stressful. And obviously, it sounds like your head's in a good place on that. What is I guess, where do you go from here? What's your ambition now? You won the main event. You've got 2 bracelets in about a 2-week period. You pick up, and you also final table the WSOP online. You do courses, right, or training. You do videos for Run It Once. What is sort of your next goal, ambition in poker, or have you not thought about it? I know, and also maybe you could talk about Overbet Express, because you are involved with the content creation and that group too. So I like to ask 8 questions at once. So take whatever you like.
Yeah, no, that's good.
We go from there.
Okay, so for Run It Once, I produce like MTT videos for them, and I will continue to do that. It's something I enjoy, and I actually got like a DM from a member at Run It Once saying like that he was sad that I won the main event, because now I wasn't going to produce videos for Run It Once anymore. And I told him like, I'm not in the Run It Once video grind for the money. I'm in there because I enjoy producing videos, and it's like a community building thing and a personal brand building thing as well, right? I'm creating this content. We're doing some like vlogging, we're doing streaming, we're doing all these things, you know. And I do want to build like a community to say. I'm not really in poker only to eke out the max EV and then get out, you know. I'm in poker for a long haul, and yeah, I'm not going anywhere now just because I won some money. So the plan is to go really hard this year, actually, with all the content and all of that. Now I have a bit more capital. I can hire editors. I can hire a videographer to follow me around and do some stuff. We haven't really decided on like all the content structures yet, what to do. But to begin with, now I'm in Vegas. We're going to Miami or Florida in a week to play a series there, Seminole Hard Rock Open Poker Open, yeah, something.
Great venue. Yeah, you'll have a blast. That's fun. That's actually my backyard. I haven't been home in 3 months, but I'll be back there next week. So hopefully we can have a beer and meet in person. But yeah, it's an amazing venue. They built like a $1.5 billion guitar hotel, brand new state of art, and it's really, really nice. You're gonna have a nice time up there. So that's very cool. And is that something though? Like, I guess it's unique, right? We see it more now. There's Twitch, there's YouTube, there's content. You know, you're doing courses online and or videos and sharing with people. What to you is more fun? Do you enjoy, you know, looking now that you're, let's call it financially very sound, right? You had this huge score, you can kind of relax and you can freedom wise, like whatever you want to do. Probably already we're doing that. What is more exciting to you, to create content, to do videos, and share? Do you like to play? Like if you have a given day, you have the option of going to play like a 5K buy-in good tournament, or, you know, doing some videos and some fun social stuff. What is more exciting to you?
Playing is for sure more exciting. If I'm playing something, like what's most exciting for me is playing big tournaments, big in terms of buy-ins, because I enjoy it a lot when I can sit at the table with Ike Haxton, Steven Chidwick, Daniel Devares, all of these like super high-end players, and I can sit there and like look at what they're doing, look at their sizings, the lines that they're taking, think about it, run some sims when I get home. That's like what I really love about poker, like the puzzle solving aspect. The content aspect is more me trying to get out of my comfort zone, because when I was younger, I was like really shy. I hated cameras. I hated like attention. I was like I was very out of my element whenever that happened. So this is kind of me like trying to get rid of that part of myself, like forcing myself out of the comfort zone to, just to grow, basically. I like trying to grow as a human being. I think it's very interesting, like forcing yourself to become, I don't know if this makes you better, that you're like more comfortable with the camera or whatever, but it's a challenge at least, and I enjoy that part of it.
And is maybe just kind of segue with that, with the Overbet Express, because that is, you know, they do content, have a Twitch, have put out videos. I know Henry Kilbane, one of your closest friends, who is very active and a part of that. Could you maybe explain a little bit about what Overbet Express is and your involvement with that?
Yeah, so Overbet Express was started by me, Henry Kilbane, Philip Blank, Jonas Jelsstad, and Benjamin Voreland, 2 Norwegian friends of me, the 2 last ones there. PLO players. Jonas does a lot of sports betting. He's been in sports betting for a long time, been in poker for a long time. He's one of my first poker friends. I think I met him in 2016 or something like that, very early on. 2016, I said 2006, I mean, of course. Yeah, super early. 2006 or 2008 or something, super early. So we started it as like a mainly Twitch stream, and we were we had a lot of big ideas in the beginning, like having daily Twitch streams where we would like take on like students and horses that we would like coach and have them stream for us sometimes, and we had like all these ideas. Then like life and people are busy with other things, and like so it's been a bit on and off. We've been like very active in periods and not so active in other periods. Right now we're trying to figure out where to take that. Obviously we have like a big attention boost now because I won the main event, so we'll see where we take that project. Yeah, it's still a bit up in the air, but it's going to be something. And like for as I said, like for now, for me at least, the plan is to do a lot of vlogging. Like when I go to these stops going forward now, I will be vlogging all of that, and the goal is to showcase a lot of. I don't want to be another guy who talks about too much like hand histories. I think like my strength in poker would be to do exactly that, to break down hands, show like some solver outputs. Okay, we should be check raising here X percentage or whatever. That's
Yeah.
like my strength. My strength is not being in front of the camera, being like the super funny guy, like whatever. But I do think, yeah, that's Henry Kilbane's strength. He's in the back here pointing at himself. But I think,
Yeah.
but I think we can do a good job of like showing personalities in poker. I think there's not too many people going to all these high stakes stops and like having chats, just like regular chats, with interesting people from the community, either if it's high stakes players or like well-known community members or what it is. Just like go and have chats with these people, talk about like, so how's your tournament going? What are you up to these days? Like whatever, And I think showing that would be interesting for people, because I don't feel like there's a lot of people doing that. A lot of people are going to tournaments or cash games or whatever, and they're like breaking down hands, which is cool. But I think we need some more like some deeper stuff into people's how people are feeling, and show like some vulnerabilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. I can tell that you're passionate, you're hungry, and you got a lot of good ideas, and it's gonna be great. I would say also, are you 30? You're 32, 3?
34.
34. All right.
Yeah.
And I should ask them if I could ask this beforehand, but we could always edit it out. Are you for the ladies out there, this is a predominantly male podcast, but single, married, engaged, don't want to say
Single. Yeah. Forever alone. Forever alone. Feels bad, man.
Main event champ, fresh 10 mil, ready to rock, single, traveling the world. Ladies, just take note. And do you have any? So, I mean, look at, I'll say this. I have a 3-year-old kid. I'm about the same age as you, 35. It's amazing. I love that aspect. But I will say, go for it, dive in. It's kind of nice, right? To be able to pick up. You're in Vegas today. You're in Florida tomorrow. The next day you go where you want and travel around. So, get your content in, do your videos, do all your stuff before the family side. If you go that route, because it makes it's a lot easier. So that's exciting and good to know. And again, ladies, that's good. We cleared it up. I should have asked you beforehand, but all good. I'm glad that you can, you don't have like a girlfriend and you didn't want to talk about or something. So all good. So we got that cleared up. I want to ask you about qualifying in satellite. I know you were rocking the GG patch. I'm biased. I'm an ambassador for GG. I love the site. I think it's the best software, best games. And you happen to win a seat. Could you explain what that is? Did you qualified? Was it a standard satellite? What was the buy-in, and how did you get in for what price to the main event?
I've seen like someone wrote that I qualified in a $1,000 satellite.
Okay.
And I believe them, because yeah, I was playing quite a few of those. Like I don't remember it. Like I was planning to play the main event no matter what, obviously, because I was always going to Vegas.
Yeah.
But I think I qualified on GG for like 1K. Yeah, I was playing a lot of those 1K satellites. I probably paid for the buy-in satellite entries. No, that's not true actually. I think I won it like on the third try or whatever. But I'm a big satellite player. I love playing satellites. So yeah.
But that we can go with that storyline that you on that's legit. You won a 1K satellite into, because the Moneymaker story, right? Where we talk about, because Moneymaker won like $80 into a satellite into another satellite and won it. So you were playing, obviously.
I wish
right?
I had that story. I wish I had it. I wish I started at like $50 and then moved up to like 250, then 1K. Then I wish.
All right. Well,
it's a bit of a better story.
Fair enough. We'll take 1,000. That still has a nice ring to it. 1,000 to
Still like a 10K% ROI or something.
Yeah, it's something that's in the history book. So anyway, shout out to GG Poker. I did see you patched up and love to see that. Good to see that you took it down. And I got to ask you, we're going to cue in because there was a satellite story about a gentleman. I think there was some issue. You had a little bit of banter. I'm gonna bring him in a minute. Let me cue him up. He's a busy guy. I think we'll be able to pop him on. I don't want to say who, but let me talk about buy-ins for you. So you've played a 25K before. You have played is that the highest buy-in? You played 25K and
yeah.
And what are your thoughts on the high 25K
stakes? Euro buy-in, and that was the biggest.
Is that something you're interested in? Is like, playing, there's now the Triton series. I know we got the Luxon and MPP Mediterranean Poker Party. Are you eye these things now? Is this the next maybe kind of goal? We're like, wow, like let me play with the best and fire in the highest stakes in the world. And actually I do think, speaking of high stakes, though, I found someone, and I know you guys had a little, not issue, but you had some kind of thing about a satellite. So I think he's around. He's lingering. He's in the mix, and he's a good guy. And maybe we can amend this. So let me bring in Mr. Rob.
This is going to be a very awkward.
Rob Yong. He's here. He's available. He's a busy guy, but we got him. So let me just intro Rob, and then maybe you guys could, Rob, you could tell me what there was a little, not beef or tip. What happened with Espen in the past with you two?
Oh, Espen, yeah. He was sponsored by Unibet at the time. Let me just show you where I am, guys, anyway, because you just caught me mid-railing a guarantee at Just Dawn.
Yeah, give us a little view.
I don't remember if I was sponsored by Unibet then. I was sponsored by Unibet for a few years. I don't remember if this was after or not.
Oh, yeah. So Rob, where you got that? There's a full room there. So it's fully everything's firing. What's happening?
Yeah,
there?
We just smashed the guarantee for a PokerStars UK IPT. First one we had here for 7 or 8 years. So we didn't think we were going to struggle a little bit, but seemed to do okay.
Well,
but yeah. Anyway, congrats, Espen. I think we've got a few mutual friends, Patrick Leonard, a few of my good buddies. You know Yoni pretty well.
Yeah.
Yoni was cursing the fact they didn't have a piece of you. So yeah, I think the first time, I was at Podge Poker, and I was pretty strict on people winning more than one seat for our higher stakes tournaments. I didn't kind of want the pros to win all the seats. I wanted the smaller players to have a chance, etc. And I think Espen won 2 or 3 seats, and didn't read the small print that you can only use one, and wanted to cash in the rest. And instead of contacting me or whatever, he did it on Twitter, and so I got a bit mad and said, right, that's it. Have your money back. Go away. As sometimes I do. I've actually had the same issue at the club yesterday. Some guy coming up to me saying he wanted to play the satellite. I said, you've already got a seat. He said, yeah, but if I win, I can get cash. And I said, no. Why do you want to bribe somebody else, a small little player, with a seat, and get on my high horse? But I think Espen said, if I remember at the time, I think he tweeted me back and said, oh yeah, no worries. And I think I calmed down.
Yeah, I think we cleared that out. I think like for me at least, I got a bit like hot-headed or whatever. I felt I was very unfairly treated. And yeah, I'm a big like moral stickler or whatever. And when I feel unfairly treated, I
think you used the word scam. I think satellite scam.
I think that was like very out of line.
That's what wound me up.
Like obviously shouldn't have used that word. And I was like,
at Rob Young, satellite scam. I don't even know about
it.
This
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
People do at me though. They just do at me, and I do obviously use Twitter and stuff like that, but it's very hard to always get back to people.
I think what I wrote was like, I'm not sure if it's a scam, but
yes,
poker. That was what I wrote. But I was
I said, what you think a multi-billion-dollar company is on the stock exchange is going to scam you out of a satellite ticket? I mean,
well, that's look. We're here amending later. Everyone's smiling, laughing. You guys are. It's under the bridge now. So yeah. Again, guys, Rob, could you maybe? We're just talking high stakes. Right? Espen's now, he's taken down the 2 bracelets. He won the 1K tag team, 10K main event. There's only really one place to go from here, which is bigger buy-ins and whatnot. And I know that there is some new format and tour and stuff happening, very exciting stuff. Could you maybe tell us a bit about what is coming up and where he might be able to find some higher stakes action?
Well, I think everyone probably knows that if you want to play in the softer fields, because you've got a lot more recreationals, that Triton guys, whether they're traveling to play a super high roller bowl or a poker event, or whether they're doing their own event at Triton, they do have a good system of VIPs and treating them very well, and it makes the field less tougher than some of the other high roller tournaments. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to move up the stakes, they're probably the ones to go at. I mean, I played the Triton. I don't want to brag, but I played the Triton in Madrid. I played 3 tournaments and final table 2. So
It's true.
And to be honest with you, when you're playing with these super pros, you know, okay, they take their time, they put sunglasses on during hands, but it's not that difficult. But obviously, if someone like me is probably like not the worst in the field, but you know, I can do okay. If Espen's going to move up the stakes, I mean, I watched him play throughout the World Series. I don't think like the pros are going to be like, oh great, the World Series of Champions playing now, he's going to be easy money. So yeah, moving up to those stakes, playing lower fields, playing tournaments that don't take as long. They can take 2 days and you can win a lot of money. You know, I think moving up to that level is probably the logical step. I mean, you obviously love playing, but you obviously like playing poker tournaments, don't you? You enjoy it.
Love it, and that has been my goal, to climb up the stakes. I don't think like I'm not like a big guy like in terms of like getting one tournament result and like praising that guy who got like that one big tournament result.
Yeah,
I don't believe in that. I believe in like praising the guys who can like consistently stay at the top level and play the 25Ks, 50Ks, and whatnot. So the goal is to be there and earn my respect that way.
I think, to be honest with you, you know, a lot of the players that are at that level, they're swapping pieces, they're selling pieces. They're not taking that much of a bankroll risk that people think, because obviously in a small field, say if you've got 50 runners and it's a 250K, and a lot of people swap percentage with each other in that field, which is fine. I don't mind that, because I think they play exactly the same whether they swap pieces or not. I'm not a believer of this conspiracy theory that everyone's playing differently. It just balances the risk off a little bit. So I think they're nice tournaments to play when you can get a big score over a short period of time, and obviously you've got the production and everything's a lot less frantic. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of players who don't necessarily play these stakes of tournaments, who are playing the 5Ks and 10Ks, that would probably be strong favourites in these fields, to be honest with you. They just don't want to. They just don't maybe one step up. But obviously, you've had this great win, and I think it wouldn't make a lot of sense. And also, with these types of series, the variance is lower because they'll have 10 tournaments in 7 days. So you get to play 10 tournaments, whereas when you're playing like an EPT or WPT or World Series event, normally there's just one main event, isn't there? So you're able to play 10 tournaments. Say if the average buy-in is 50K, you're risking 500K over 10 tournaments. You know, the odds are that they're gonna cash in 1 or 2 or 3 or do better. So I think that's why I always wondered why they wanted so many tournaments in such a short space of time on these high roller series. But obviously now I understand it's about variance and getting in as much volume as possible. But I mean, watching you at the World Series, how composed you are. You don't give off any emotion, no tells. Obviously, when you won it, you gave off some emotion. You know,
Not too much. I got some criticism from not giving off more. People were like, "Oh, who the fuck is this robot?" Like, yeah.
Did you study your table presence? Did you, or is it natural to you? Because you were just like stone cold killer, like no emotion when you were bluffing or anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty baseline guy in general. I'm not overly emotional in any, except when I win like 2 satellite tickets. And
there was a hand I watched when you just smooth called with the aces and you slow played them, and you probably would. The guy was slow playing you with his hand, his kings. So he was checking, you checked, he checked, you checked, and obviously you bet the river. But
I don't think this was me.
Was it? Maybe it was the other guy that just smooth called your aces with.
I think that was that. No, I don't think I was. Wait, if this was on the final table, it was definitely not me.
No, it was on the outer tables at first. I watched the hand.
Rob, don't give away what a student of the game you are, right? Rob goes in as a businessman, but he's got his film, his notepads. He comes in prepared.
No, but he was just Espen was just so composed throughout the whole. all the footage that were watched, and we were all in Vegas, so we were watching in the VIP room at the area. Went to play at JRBs. We had it on at JRBs, and everyone was saying like how composed. And then when you put on the story on Twitter about the or someone did it that you'd just gone through the lunar experience, it's like, how's the guy so composed? You know, so it was like it was almost like, I think a lot of people we were watching we kind of said that we thought you were going to win it because of your composure. But in terms of the Triton tournaments, we have at the MPP, one of the tournaments we have is the Coin Rivet Invitational, which is exactly the same format. Did you hear about the £1 million buy-in we did in London?
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah. So we've taken that format where businessmen and pros pay separately for the first 8 levels and then merge. What we do, I'm going to say only, but we're doing a $200,000 buy-in at Triton and the MPP, and obviously it would be now you've got this huge bankroll. I think you should splurge on that tournament.
I think that makes sense.
Wait, hold on. Is this but Rob, are you because you have to get a partner. I know you guys had a satellite TIFF. Is that an invitation? Are you telling him like he needs to find a partner? You're playing, obviously? Are you inviting him? Is this what's happening? Am I witnessing this, or what was that?
If you'll put me in, I'll play.
All right. If you put me in, I put you.
Yeah, if Espen's your partner, I'm in for a piece. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, my partner before for the million was Sam Trickett, and I think he's retired. He's currently retired from poker at the moment, having look after his baby in Ibiza. So I thought, like, you know, I would invite Espen if he wanted to play, and also it'd be nice to have because Mediterranean poker party is about a bit of a party. We could have a few drinks and have a little bit of a winners party over in Cyprus. So yeah, definitely. If you want the slot, it's yours. I can only pick one person. And since we had that funny thing on Twitter, and series, I think it'd be pretty cool for you to. I mean, imagine if you won that. I think it's capped at 32 businessmen, 32 pros, but I think they've already got 32 businessmen. So I think they might increase the cap a little bit as long as it's one businessman, one pro. So I'm guessing it's going to be like a 20 million prize pool. So we're going to get 5 million. I mean, imagine if you went back to back and won that. These things happen, though, don't they? How many times do people win things like in succession? But
we've seen some of these runs, yeah.
No pressure. The slot's yours. If you like it, you can be.
I would like it.
He snapped you off before he said, "I'll take it" before you could finish. Yeah. So
10 million now, 200 buy-ins, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite cool as well how you were so honest with everybody and transparent about how much you had of your win and pieces. What made you be so honest and transparent? To be honest, people don't normally do that.
No, and that's exactly why, because I feel a lot of the poker community is like behind shut doors and people don't want to like share too much of what's going on. A lot of people want to give off like a certain impression or whatever. And I've had this a lot in my poker career where you get like some insights of you think this guy's like crushing or whatever, and then you realize he's actually in makeup or stuff like that. And it's so much like weird stuff going on in poker. And I don't want that to be the case. Like I want people to like look straight through me and just, I'm a very transparent guy in general. And I want to keep that.
You were really transparent, like 56%. You had 56% of yourself, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you going to get stung for tax or
no tax?
Because you've got the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in the UK, so yeah, that should be fine.
I mean, normally people aren't that transparent, which I think is really, really cool. You've just said before people were speculating, and you just gone bang. This is the situation. Like it or leave it. And that's a pretty cool way to be. Do you think? Have you had online sites talking to you about maybe representing them yet? Or?
Yeah, I've had some people. I haven't had like a clear offer yet, but I've had a lot of interest from different companies. So we'll see how these talks go about. I do plan to be like an ambassador in poker. Like I plan to travel around and create content and whatnot. So I do think it makes sense to be collaborating with some sort of brand or multiple brands. I think it makes a lot of sense. Just for the money is one thing, but also I think you add a lot of validity by being associated with a big respectable brand. Also, you get extra exposure through them, and I think it makes sense in every way. So yeah, definitely looking for that.
So you would say you're one of the players that's won the World Series that really loves the game. Would you say that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I live and breathe poker, and it's been like it's been like the main part of me for a lot of years now. So yeah.
I think some of the ex-world champions, they've won, and then they've just the first thing they did was stop playing.
Yeah,
or reduce it.
That's a shame.
Playing. Well, you're going to just keep on playing, and in effect, play more and look to play the higher stakes, and look to. That's good, because that's what aspiring players want to see. They want to see the world champion keep on playing and be involved, rather than just say, "I won my money. I actually didn't like poker. I was only in it for the money."
Yeah. Yeah, no. And I think poker needs more like good role models, if you want to call it that. Like people who take the game seriously, and they take themselves like seriously in terms of poker as well, like eating healthy, exercising, like trying to be like I don't want to say top athlete or whatever, but like take the game, try to do whatever you can to win at the game, right? I think that can be aspirational to a lot of young players coming up, that like they're trying to make it in poker, and they see someone who is like has now like made it in poker, who is also like trying to take care of himself and try to have like a good mindset, healthy meditation, and all of that stuff. I think I want to be like that sort of good role model as well, if I can.
No, I think instantly you could just tell your composure at the table and the way you come across that. I think I tweeted it that online sites looking for someone who can set an example. I think it's.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, well, you are my official guest for the Coin Rivet Invitational. You're welcome to buy a piece of me, and if you want me to buy a piece of you, let me know.
We'll swap.
Or we can swap, or whatever you want to do. Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't have to swap with me. I mean, you've seen me play, right?
I've seen you play. You can play.
Don't say that. Don't tell anybody that.
Rob,
you like to give off this image that you can't play, right? Just tell people that you're a massive monkey, and then
okay. Rob, can I ask you a quick question about the in Cyprus, this event, please?
Yep.
All right. How did you come up, or how did the event, from your understanding, come up with the 200K? Because obviously the £1 million was super successful. COVID happened, things kind of reset, and now to go to 200 with the one rebuy format. Why not 250? Why not 500 or 300? How did you come up with 200?
The truth is, honestly, I wanted to do it at 100K because I loved the concept that we did in London, and I wanted to get as many players as possible. And Paul from Triton, he wanted to do 300K. He said it's more prestigious. We always wanted to do a cheaper, a lower value version, because we both love the concept. So I think it ended up getting chopped down the middle between me wanting 100, him wanting 300. And then I spoke to a few players like Makita and Jason Kuhn and guys like that, and they said, well, we feel 200 with maximum one re-entry would be the best format. So, but my way was 100, and I wanted to make it, obviously being me, I wanted to have 100 frees out and let more people to be able to more people to be able to play this like format, one pro, one businessman. It's not something that I believe all tournaments should be. I think it's nice to have every now and again. So the buy-in came from Paul.
Okay, and just as you said, you need one businessman, one pro. It's already capped at 32, or it's happened, but there's room for more. What is the actual cap? Is there one? If there's 100 businessmen want to play, could it be that?
Well, there's 32 already confirmed. But I think it's okay to keep increasing the field, as long as we say it's still one businessman, one VIP. So I think Paul, to be honest with you, I always, when it comes to high rollers, I always refer to Paul on that, and he says that we should probably allow as many people to play as possible. But initially they've already hit the 32 cap. So maybe they'll go get up to 40. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a lot. It's an expensive buying still. I know the previous one was £1 million. This is $200,000, £150,000. It's a lot cheaper, but it's still a lot of money, you know. Pardon?
How many entries did the 1 million get?
52.
Okay.
26 businessmen, 26 pros.
Yeah.
I was chip leader on day one and took some advice off Bill Perkins to play tighter. I ended up getting all my good hands cracked. I should have just played reckless like normal on day 2.
It worked out for Bill, though.
I mean, to do that was amazing.
Yeah, that was very, very special. And last question from me, at least, Rob, about this is we were in Cyprus. I was there not long ago. Saw the new hotel casino being built. Looked beautiful. Saw the ballroom, and now I've seen the final video. At least I was inside there. Could you tell us a little bit about this new venue and that is done, right? This will be in the new venue in Cyprus.
Yeah, I believe they spent 120 million on the new venue. Obviously during COVID it got delayed a little bit, and it's just like it's a bit like Bar Hamar. Did you come to Bar Hamar, Espen?
No, not been.
The casino Bar Hamar in the Bahamas has got this amazing room for poker where you can get like 100, 200 tables in, depending on how much space you want between them. And you can create this arena effect where you have the stage and almost like a show. And what they've created in Cyprus at the Merit is this brand new conference center. They're going to use it for pop concerts and things, but it can be created into an amazing poker arena. And I think now with people wanting more content, more streaming, it's probably going to be a very popular venue. They've also built like a 6-star hotel called the Royal Diamond next door to it. I think it's only got like 300 rooms. So it's new hotel and new venue for poker, but it's still on the same complex as the other 4 hotels. I mean, the Merit's great because, you know, it's at this time of year, it's great weather. You can chill. It's a very relaxed place to be at, and the service. To be honest with you, it's one of the best in the world for actually the way the staff are service wise. But this venue is going to be spectacular. Never mind when Triton do their crazy production investment. I think just play there is going to be really cool. And obviously
it's going to be sick, yeah.
Yeah, and what I like about it is the fact that week 1 there's like 1K, 2K maximum tournaments. Then week 2 it's like 5K, 10K, and then week 3 Triton take over and do their super high rollers. So there's 1 week for each bankroll, which I've never really tried that before. Like trying to do a series where everyone can participate. So by splitting the 3 weeks into a different bankroll for each week, so people can just come for 7 days and play their bankroll, it's going to be quite interesting. In the past, you kind of mix everything up: 1K, 5K, 25K, all in the same series. But here, by saying come for a week, play, come for the second week if you want to play 5K, 10K, and if you want to play Triton, you can come after that. So we've got the one drop there as well. We've got a 11K 111 charity event there, which I'll play. Which it's quite interesting concept.
Yeah, I believe it's actually a $10,000 one drop event where you can 1,111 donated, I believe, and also there's a $5,000 main event, right? 5 million.
Yeah, the main event's 5K, 5 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, it's
a long structure. It's a long structure. You know, it's like 60-minute clock, 4-day event. I mean, I can't play those really because I've got to work and things like that. But obviously, Espen's just played a 9-day event.
Yeah,
it's a grind, isn't it?
Well, look, Espen, you won the tag team 1K in June. You won the main event in July. You got the 5K 5 mil in August, and then you can win the coin Rivet in the next month. So it's in September. You're pretty much. You got it all set up for you. You just go for it every month.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to not be greedy and ask for too much, but I'll definitely play a lot going forward. So we'll see if we can keep the heater running.
Do you feel like you can just win anything now? That you just need to turn up and you're just gonna win? Be honest.
Kind of feels like that, yeah.
You got the confidence.
I'll be back on Earth. Like I'll have my first little downswing now after the main event, and then I'll be back down to Earth.
That's brilliant. If you're going to do some content and document it, and keep and let the smaller players or the learner players show them what you do with your fitness, your diet, and your hard work, that's good for poker.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I still have some more questions. I know, Rob, you've covered a lot, and this is exciting. You are officially the first team in of 32 guaranteed for this 200K event. And is there any other of any other teams for sure? You know the businessmen though, obviously. You know the 32 businessmen.
Paul Poir's playing with Phil Ivey.
Right.
James Board, the sports betting guy's playing with Sean Winter. I think Ivan Lau's playing with Stephen Chidwick.
Right.
Let me just have a look at the.
It's very interesting, this Triton concept, because at like most tournament series, you have people from every level basically of play. You have like some like recreationals, then you have like some not so good regulars, some mediocre regulars, some really good regulars, some very elite regulars. You have every step of the way. At Triton, you have like the businessman, as you say, and then you have like the very, very creme de la creme, basically, like the very best players. You don't have too much of like the middling levels of players, I would say, like the mid stakes regulars.
It's two extremes, yeah.
So
Got Paul Newey. Paul Newey's playing with Steve O'Dwyer. Sosha Yang's playing with Jason Kuhn. Tony G's playing with Laszlo. Y King's playing with Linus. Yeah, you're right. I mean, nobody wants to play against the second ones I mentioned, do they? Phillips.
Lineup this is. I'm going to be starstruck sitting there. I'm going to be so starstruck sitting there playing with Linus and like my idols.
Don't give up anything, man. You're like a robot. Don't show fear. Don't tell who you don't want to see.
I'm going to bring the sunglasses and just try to be a robot.
No, I mean, how it works is people apply. They go into it. Paul Poit and Jason Kuhn and myself. We just have one vote each to say businessman or pro. To be honest with you, I've been voting a lot of people who I think might be pros. Like, for example, Yo-Yo Viral, I voted him pro and they voted him VIP. Phil Nag.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I've been outvoted on a lot of things. I would even vote Tony G as pro. But Jason and Paul voted Tony as businessman. Bobby Baldwin's playing with Ben Lamb. I mean, Bobby Baldwin's the world champion. I know he was a pro 150 years ago. I mean, he's still a pro to me. But I guess Jason and Paul look at the current standard of the player. Phil Nagy's playing from ACR, I think. There's a good list. I mean,
let me ask you that, Rob. That's a great question, a great topic. Who ultimately makes the decision? Because there are some close calls. Like I was joking with Brian Rast yesterday, and that he's doing commentary for Triton now. He hasn't been playing as much tournaments. I said, he was saying I was trying to get in as a businessman, but where's the cutoff? I mean, because if you go by results, like look at Kerry Katz. I mean, does he get to be a businessman? The guy's top 5 Hendon mob all time. Like where is how do you distinguish yourself?
It's very simple. What happens is we've got a chat group. Myself, Paul, and Jason. It's called Pro or VIP here, and we type a name in, and no one can discusses it. Think about it for 24 hours, then you put in Pro or VIP. There's 3 of us, so someone always wins. So we don't debate it. It's our own personal opinion. And I just generally what happens is I lose 2-1. And that because really it's very subjective, isn't it? Like, for example, Andrew Pantlin. Andrew Pantlin used to be an online pro. For the last 15 years, he's been working in sports betting business. But does that mean he's still not as good as a good player? He takes someone like Orpen. Do you know Orpen?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's very good. I think he's very
a businessman, but isn't he just as good as all the super pros?
Right. So what happens to him? But he's business, right? He is.
It's just the same thing. Vote.
Yeah.
Businessman or pro. I mean, Kerry Katz, I would vote as businessman. Kerry, if you're watching this, I don't think you're much good. But B, I do think he's a businessman Paul Poit is a very good poker player. But
but it's I guess it's subjective, but it's also there is a distinguishing line for sure. Some are obvious, some are not.
Brian Rass, our commentator. I mean, the vote's just not going to get through, is it? I mean, he lost 3-0, claiming he was a commentator. I mean, come on. I mean, I think it was a bit of a joke by Brian, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was searching. He was searching for that, but
yeah,
for sure.
I got a message from someone this morning. Hi, I've been doing YouTube for the last 6 years. I'm no longer a professional poker player. Yeah, but you're YouTubing yourself playing poker brilliantly. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah. We got to cap it at some point. There'll be 200 businessmen applying, right? I think. I mean, it looks like you could easily get 50. I think there would be. It seems like there's a lot of interest. The fact that it's already capped. I mean, you are willing. How big? Do you have an actual number in mind that you cut it off? Is it 64 businessmen? Is it 50? I mean, you kind of have an idea where the most it could be. But could it be 100 businessmen in theory? Is there room for that?
No, I think it's 200,000 is a lot of money. And if you look at a normal field. Let's say you take like the 250K at the World Series. I think it's like 6 businessmen and 44 pros, right? I think I went through and counted it. So there's not that many businessmen that they're smart. They don't want to risk 200,000 or $1 million playing against pros, you know, because ultimately you're gonna have to meet the pros on level 9 anyway. So I think top end 50. Probable 40, and obviously it's already hit the cap of 32. So I think 50 would be a nice number. And then it's 100. You don't want too many for it to take too long, and you still want that prestige. But I mean, 100. Remember, people can have one re-entry, so you know it could be. If you did 100, you probably get 20 re-entries, so you probably get 120. You know, that's a big prize pool, isn't it? It's a 24 million prize pool.
Rob, can I ask you about these businessmen that play the highest stakes, the ones that play like the $1 million, the 300Ks and stuff like that? Do you think most of them play it because they want to play like against the very, very best, or do you think they just want to play high enough stakes that they can feel something? Like because they have so much money that like if they play a 10K, it's like, yeah, it's like ice cream money, right? Do you think it's because they want to feel something, or do you think it's because they want to play against the very best?
I think they want to play against the very best and bust them.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest. I did a massive bluff on Makita in Cyprus, and it just felt nice when he folded. I mean, it's just. I think it's just nice to play against the best, test yourself against the best. I mean, I was devastated when I didn't win any of those 2 Triton final tables that I played in Madrid. I did a crazy move in the no limit one with 9-10 offsuit, but you know, and I had 3/4 of the chips in the short deck one and managed to give it away, finish 3rd. But it really hurts me when I get knocked out of a poker tournament, like to the point where I'm feeling sick. So it's the challenge. It's not real, and Kerry Katz as well. He didn't cash at all in Madrid. He was like suicidal. I mean, like you see him for breakfast, and the guy it looked like he wants to hang himself outside. So I think it's the challenge of testing yourself against the very best. In the main, yeah. I don't think it's the financial amount because I just played the 5K at my casino yesterday. I finished 8th and there was 7 people in the money. I was devastated for 3 hours after being knocked out of the 5K yesterday.
No, yeah, bubbling's not fun. That's not fun for sure. No, it's exactly right. I think the competitive spirit.
The pros always get lucky. I got the guy all in. They called me all in with King Queen. I've got Ace 8. Obviously, flop comes King Queen. I'm screwed. I mean, it seems to me like when you get the pros in, I know I'm not a massive favorite, but they always seem to hit for some reason. I don't know why. But
I was just telling Espen, no more. We can't after he won the main. There's no bad beats. There's no complaining. You're officially like that's you just can't ever do it. So yeah, no, it's exciting. That's going to be a great event. It'll be a lot of fun, and it looks like it's going to be a really big prize pool. So I think you guys are.
A question there because there's a 1K going on outside of my casino now. There's 500 people in it. I'm probably going to jump in the 1K last reg, and I would play that as seriously as any buy-in. So
are you selling action, Rob? Can Espen and I get a little taste just for fun? We're out here putting podcast in, doing the good work. Can we get a little sweat?
I don't know whether I'm going to enter it yet because it's a 3-day event. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All All right. Well, yeah, no, that's it's exciting. You guys are confirmed, and you did mention a few other teams, but I guess officially, is there a board? Is there actually? I do have there's a website, correct? Let me just.
Triton. I think Triton will put the pairs on. I think MPP website will put the pairs on, and
there we go. There is a. I don't know. This might not be. Is this the right one?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you can see the schedule. Yeah. If you click on schedule, you can see it. Yeah.
So is Triton part of MPP, or is it like MPP the 2 first weeks and then Triton the 3rd week? How is that?
If you scroll down, you can see the Triton events. So basically, all our partners, Irish Open, EAPT, Triton, all the guys that we work with on live, we said to them, let's create this festival, and you guys host your own events within the festival. Like One Drop, the Italian guys at Imperium, at Casa del Tarte, Malta Poker Festival. So it's a combination of live partners, Poker News Cup, Irish Open, and then
okay, that's cool.
We have a lot over the years. Got many friends who do live poker around the world. I just thought normally we do it in the Caribbean. So normally we would have in the Bahamas. We'd say to our partners, do you want to come over and have an event? We'll do logistics. You can bring a few dealers, social occasion, and you can have a branded tournament there. They would never hire the Caribbean on their own. So we kind of put it together, and then Triton are taking the back end. And you can see there Coin Rivet Invitational and all the Triton events. Yeah, it's mostly the Triton could actually organize this completely on their own without our help. They're so efficient, but it's nice to have them as part of it.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks like they do break it up with the by the buy-ins, and then all of a sudden it does go into short deck, right? So they sort of separate the two there. So it's pretty cool, like a month long there.
There's a Triton 100K main event as well, just after the 200K Coin Invitational. I mean, I would have thought that's going to break all Triton records. Say we've got like 80 or 100 people playing the 200K. I mean, the 100K 2 days later, Triton main event. I mean, that could get insane number, you know. I think we might see the biggest ever 100K tournament.
Yeah,
because everyone that's playing the 200K is obviously probably going to flick into the 100K as well.
Yeah, there's that that is confirmed. The venue is finished because I saw it was almost finished, but that will be where it takes place, the new one.
Yeah, that's not the new venue though.
No, I know, but that's the ballroom. This is the one that was being built.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very.
I mean,
very...
I put some images on Twitter of it being done. I mean, the venue is, God, I mean, it looks insane. It's going to be a good place. Good place.
I went to Cyprus a few years ago for a tournament series before COVID, and I loved it there. I can imagine this new hotel is even nicer. But I remember the spa was really nice. The food was great. I really enjoyed it. I was there for like 2 weeks, and I really loved it. So
yeah, there's a look at this is the new one right here. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. It'll be a lot of fun.
New hotel. Have you got on my Twitter the actual new poker room? Scroll down.
Yeah, let's see.
Keep scrolling. Scroll. That's some idiot.
Rob, do you have a social media manager? You got a lot of content, man. You got a full range. What is this?
Every
right
tweet done by me. Seriously, I do try and do one a day.
I love it. Is that the video there, or is there one below?
That's mine. No, keep going. You get to
Rob, man, you're a machine. Espen, you need notes on this. You want to get into social media? There
you go.
There's
this is very strong.
Yeah, this is
trick. I do like these little interviews. They can only answer five. So this is the new venue here.
Oh wow, the ballroom. Yeah, it's got the. I see.
See how big it is with the screens.
That looks sick. That looks sick.
Wow.
So they had an opening night, like a sound thing. So that's why we'll play the poker. You can see they advertised the MPP there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Got the ballroom sort of like an opera.
Just go down a bit more. Go down a bit more, Jeff. Here you go. So this is without the party. So there's all the VIP areas at the top. See, 50-meter squared screens. I mean, this is going to be a sick place to play poker.
Look at this. Espen from a $1,000 satellite on GG into the main event champion, into playing 200Ks with Rob Yong. I mean, man, the dream. This is
That is
it.
the dream, man.
Right here. We got it all in one encompass. But no, it's beautiful. Very, very, very cool. Okay, well, Rob, I appreciate it. You're you do it all. You do social media, you're a podcast host, you're playing events, you're doing everything. But I'm gonna finish my interview, my talk with Espen, and then we'll be in Cyprus together having a beer with Espen's bracelet, and we'll celebrate over there.
Yeah, we'll organize a celebratory World Series champion few drinks up on the balcony.
I just started a prop bet with my friend Henry Kilbane that I cannot drink alcohol for the rest of the year. I owe him 15K.
Is it a free roll? Is it a bet or a free roll?
It's not a free roll. He has his part of the bet as well. Okay. I'm not sure if I should mention what that is. Okay, he says go ahead. He cannot watch porn for the rest of the year. He has to stay away from porn. I have to stay away from alcohol for the rest of the year. And it's a 15K bet.
All right. You guys are really...
Sounds like that bet's going to be washed.
I mean, it should be. It should be. Because I was just feeling like after the main event, I partied more than I usually do. I'm not a big party guy in general, but I partied like quite a bit after the main event, and I don't feel too good about it. Like I want to have like, because this year in particular, I want to be like super productive. I want to be like in a good mindset and be on point with everything I do. Study a lot of poker, play a lot of high rollers. I want to be on point, you know. And drinking alcohol, for me, it really destroys me. Like if I go on partying, I'm destroyed for like 1 or 2 days after. And I don't really want it to be like part of my life right now. So
I feel the same.
I needed some extra incentive to get away from it.
I feel the same. I hardly drink. Sometimes if I'm with friends, like I went to the GG party with Joey Ingram and a few other guys. I just want to have a drink because I'm with my friends and it's a social thing. But yeah, I probably drink once every 2 weeks or once a month because I don't want to wipe the next day out. I don't want to feel like rubbish. And the only time I really want to drink is when I'm with my friends and I want to enjoy myself with them. So I feel the same way about alcohol.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Rob, thank you so much, and we'll be seeing you we'll see you in Cyprus.
Yeah, I'll see you in Cyprus. I'll get Rachel or Ellen and my PA to make sure all your arrangements are all sorted. Okay. All right.
See you there.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Rob.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's Rob Yong. We are gonna move him out, and we're gonna finish up. Man, this is Rob. I'm telling you, he could be a podcast host himself. I got to kind of check out and let him do his thing. But I know we'll be talking on my personal podcast. I do want to kind of round this one out because I know you got a lot of demands. Have you done any other content, social media? Podcasts or shows? You know, have you done any? Do you have anything scheduled for some live shows or anything, or local? Have you done anything in Vegas yet?
Yeah, we went on Matt Berkey's podcast yesterday, the Solve for Why OnlyFriends podcast.
Okay.
Me and Henry Kilbane went on that. Outside of that, I haven't done much, honestly. I've kind of said no to most things, and I've said, like, let me get back to you in a while, because it's been a bit overwhelming, to be honest. Like, there's been so many requests and people wanting my attention for different things. Yeah. So it was a bit overwhelming. So I told most people, please send, like, an email to this address, and we'll get back to you once the dust has settled, or once I can, like, being in a normal mindset again, or, like, catch my breath a little bit. So I haven't done much. As I mentioned to you before, I'm not really sure how to handle this whole thing. I've been considering, like, should I hire, like, a PR manager or a publicist or anything like that, you know, to schedule all the interviews and stuff like that, figure out what makes sense, what does not make sense. Because in the end, like, I'm the type of guy who would like to go on every show, every podcast, every interview, do all of it. But reality is that I don't have time for it. Like, it would just take all of my time. Secondly, it also kind of, if you just go on everything, I don't think it really makes sense. No one wants to listen to the same story like 100 times, you know, like, because most of these things, people are going to ask the same questions. Like, so how did you get into poker? And, like, how did it feel winning the main event? It's going to be a lot of the same questions, right? And no one wants to listen to boring me regurgitate, like, the same story 100 times.
No, I think there's definitely validity to that. But at the same time, I think that, you know, it's more about I think people are interested, and different people are going to ask different questions and get different perspectives. But of course, it takes a lot of time, and it's, you have a lot of stuff you want to do and focus on. So you can't just it takes time, right? You have to schedule it, you have to plan it, you have to block off. It's not just like, oh, it's a 1 hour podcast. You have to like set up for it, test this, that, and do all the stuff. So yeah, we'll I guess in kind of closing here for the Coin Rivet podcast, this is episode 15, and just kind of, if you could maybe, tell me what I was very curious about your focus. I want to know about at the table, because with social media, in the main event, Rob mentioned that you're very focused. You're like stone cold. Were you just off your phone? Like, were you checking stuff at all? Are you like laser focused? Do you lock your phone away? Because I notice a lot now, people are on their phone all the time. Look, I do a lot of content on social media. I'm very bad at that. Like, I know that I'm giving away a ton by not being fully present. How do you approach that? And are you militant on that, or do you kind of still check your phone a bit?
I'm not militant at all. Like, I also give away a lot of that in terms of like not being totally present at all times. During like the last few days, I guess, of the main event, I just put my phone away, and I only used it like to reshare some stories, like in breaks or stuff like that. I didn't want it to be like take up any focus. So it was just in do not disturb mode, and I was just focusing on the main event. It felt kind of bad because after the main event as well, there was just too much, so I couldn't really open messages for a few days. It was just exploding. So like, I had some people, like some really close friends, that was like wishing me good luck or whatever on day 6, and I answered to them like a week later, like a few days after I won, like thank you or whatever. And it felt like really bad, but like it was kind of one of those things where I kind of just had to put it away and focus on getting the job done,
Give me an idea of how many messages, because like in any deep run, if it's a WSOP event or something that's online, like people watch, sweat, friends, family, whatever, how much messages did you actually get? Was it like, people coming out of the woodwork, people you didn't even know, congratulating you? Like how crazy was it?
Oh, for sure. I haven't looked at any stats for it, but it must have been thousands for sure.
Wow.
Thousands. Mostly on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, and I post a lot of stories and stuff. So it was mostly through that. But yeah, it was all kinds of stuff. It was anything from, most of it was just like really nice messages, people wanting to congratulate me or wish me good luck or whatever. And then you have like some people like telling some sad story, giving me their account number and expecting me to transfer X amount of money or whatever. There was a lot of weird requests. Some people, a lot of like single moms sliding in, like asking what was the status, like there was some stuff there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, well, in closing, as I want to close this one out, and like I said, we're going to thank you for taking the time for this. Thank you for taking the time for my personal podcast. I really do appreciate it. Henry Cobain, also a great guy, and I've gotten to know him a lot better. I really, I very highly of him, I think, and obviously he speaks highly of you. Yeah, he is one of the good ones. So I appreciate him kind of coordinating and help make this happen, because I know you do have a lot of requests and demands. So really do. I know we had never met. I could just tell instantly. I know again, Patrick, I respect so much the fact that he wants, reaching out to be your partner for the thing. You guys win it, and you just seem like a very well put together, humble, solid, great ambassador for the game. So again, congratulations. And on the closing, the actual last thing, I want a price prediction. I don't know. I don't care if you like crypto, have it, don't have it. I just want to know. This is the Coin Rivet podcast number 15, and we do a thing with each guest to guess the price of Bitcoin at the end of the year. So January 1, 2023, what will Bitcoin and Ethereum, a little bit of a pump here all of a sudden in the last week. Things have kind of gotten out of the absolute dumps. Right? Yeah,
it's kind of surprising. Like the Fed, the CPI print came out at another like or not the CPI print, but they hiked the interest rate with like 75 basis points again, right? Which was par for the course, I guess. Some people were guessing 100 basis points, some were guessing 50. But I try to pay some attention to macroeconomics. I think that's what in the end dictates where crypto is going to go for the most part. Of course, you can have individual projects that come up with new stuff and they can have a pump or whatever. But in the end, most of it is correlated to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is in the end very correlated to overall macroeconomics, right? When there's a lot of liquidity, people need to put their money somewhere. A lot of it is going into crypto. We saw when the stimulus checks were coming out and interest rate was at 0, crypto had like the most insane bull run ever. And I think right now I'm not I'm not super dialed in at the moment. I've been
Right.
focusing on WSOP for a couple of months, so I'm not super dialed in. But last I heard from the smart people that I follow is that we're still not super bullish on the macro, are we? It's still looking pretty grim, I think. So price prediction for Bitcoin. I'm very bullish on crypto in general. I own a lot of crypto, and it will remain a big part of my allocation going forward as well. People ask me what I'm going to do with this main event money. I'm not going all in on Luna again, of course. It's going to be, but it's going to be diversified, mostly in Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think, and put some into stonks as well and real estate, I guess. But
Beautiful. Give me to what Bitcoin price January 1 this coming year. What are you 2023? What do you think it's at?
Okay, so it's like, yeah, okay, okay, so my prediction is that it's gonna get worse before it gets better, but by this time they've started quantitative easing version 6.0 or whatever again, and we will have another bull run. So I'm gonna say 50K.
50K for Bitcoin, and what about Ethereum price January 1?
Well, it's gonna be a similar pump, I guess. So 3,500.
3,500. All right, you're looking for some about double downs. I love it. Very, very cool. Well, listen again, Espen. Thank you so much for the time, man. You're an absolute officially legend of the game now. You have solidified that in 2 bracelets in about 2 weeks, including the main event title, the current reigning WSOP main event title. He is here in front of you, and we appreciate the time. Thank you so much. I will be checking with you very shortly for the other podcast, and thank you for the time, man. Cheers to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you in Cyprus.